He has been one of the members of Digital Dunkirk, helping to coordinate evacuations out of Kabul. And Alex, thanks so much for being here. In full transparency for our viewers, I have tried to help your mission in various ways, including giving some names and passport numbers to you. I want to start with your reaction to this news today of the Taliban allowing this flight from Kabul to Qatar. Does this give you hope that more evacuations might be allowed?
I do. Actually, I think it's wonderful. It seems to be a positive, progressive step towards getting the rest of the folks that are out. There's really only one way out, which is by air right now. And the fact that civilians are now starting to get out, the Taliban appear to be holding to their word. And I think it's through some coordination between the Qataris and the State Department. So it's very encouraging. Speaking
of coordination, the Biden administration, it seems like they are coordinating even more with private individuals like yourself, part of this Digital Dunkirk. Have you talked to any members of the Biden administration? Have you been providing all the information you have about people who need to be evacuated to the Biden administration to expedite that?
Sure. So I'm part of a group of folks. I did speak to the National Security Advisor a little earlier today.
Jake Sullivan.
Yeah, Jake Sullivan, about 20 minutes. He was incredible, very gracious, listening, and was able to hook us up with the folks we needed to pass information. And other teammates, Joy, and then Rob and Safi are busy working to make sure that people are safe. And so between the four of us, we've been in touch with State Department of Defense and now the White House.
And I don't want to obviously disclose any information that could put anybody in jeopardy, but when you are still trying to help people, who are we talking about? What kind of numbers are we talking about? Whatever you're comfortable with.
Sure.
American citizens, American legal permanent residents, Afghan allies who are applicants to the special immigrant visa program. What are we talking about?
So yes, across the board to all of them. There are a pretty significant number of Americans that are still left. I think the State Department's really at the mercy of people registering to let them know that they're in country. And so we encourage everybody, if you're listening, if you're in contact with an American or someone else who's in Afghanistan, to please register with the U.S. State Department. They are the official U.S. government representative, even though we don't have an embassy. And we've been working with them, and they've been absolutely fantastic.
And we're talking about hundreds, thousands, how many people?
Hundreds into thousands, I would say, altogether, when you take the categories together. When you put it all together, it's into the thousands.
What if you remove the Afghan allies from it? If it's just American citizens and legal permanent residents, what kind of number are we talking about?
Between the different groups, I know states trying to deconflict to make sure. I think we're probably around 500 north of there to 1,000.
500 to 1,000.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of groups doing what you're doing, and it's incredible work, admirable work. I want you to listen to what Secretary of State Antony Blinken said about these charter flights that individuals are trying to arrange to get people out.
Sure.
While there are limits to what we can do without personnel on the ground, without an airport with normal security and procedures in place, we are working to do everything in our power to support those flights and to get them off the ground. That's what we've done. That's what we will continue to do.
What is the process like right now in terms of trying to get people out?
So it's extremely difficult. So I think it's very public now. There were 6 planes in Mazar-e-Sharif that were manifested by NGOs who were paying for them. And at one point after the evacuation operation was complete, the State Department had even put on their website, people need to find alternate means besides the U.S. government to try to get out while they were still kind of working through the process. And so it seemed to be a bit of bureaucratic kind of back and forth, believe it or not. I mean, the Taliban's new. They're still getting their foot set as a new government there. There isn't an official recognition. And then the airports basically were no longer functional once we left all of the, once all the controllers, air traffic controllers left. So the Qataris and the Turks have come in to provide technical assistance in Kabul. And then it becomes a question of clearing the manifests. The airline also has to get clearance for people to fly out. Third countries have to clear airspace. Somebody has to agree to receive them. And so you've got multiple foreign governments involved, the U.S. State Department and the Taliban kind of working together with a nascent government that's essentially popping up as we speak.
Right. People who have no experience governing at all. Last, Alex, you're not getting paid for this.
No.
Why are you doing this?
I think there's a broader coalition, and we all kind of ascribe to the same philosophy from our time in government service in one capacity or another, and that's we don't leave people behind. The evacuation operation was done. President Biden issued a lawful order, and we supported it through 831. And at the end of it, they acknowledged there's still people left. And so, to the extent that you can help during wartime, just like people did in World War II to help hide folks in attics, just like my grandmother, I feel we have a moral obligation to help. And we kind of put everything on hold to take care of those folks.
And how did you get involved? What was the phone call that got you involved?
Actually, kind of bizarre. It was an interpreter who confused me for his Special Forces Detachment commander. Wasn't an officer, wasn't a Green Beret, but we had the same first name, similar last name, and we looked alike. Connected, got the paperwork straight, was able to get him from Kandahar to Kabul, get his family and get them out. He's since now in Texas and is able to speak about it. And then a CI officer and a friend from college, Perry Blattstein, had reached out and said, hey, I'm working with Digital Dunkirk, and would you be interested in joining? And then when I got in, connected with a group of folks who had the ability to provide sensitive logistics, and then it became an operation to support the State Department. And they were telling Americans, or anybody rather for that matter, citizens, LPRs, whatever you happen to be, you need to be at this place at this time with this paperwork. And so naturally, chaos in a war zone. How do you fill out paperwork? How do you navigate to these gates? Where are these places? What do you do? And so that's what we were helping with, and just to support the official operation. Nobody was trying to do any, crazy cowboy operations. We were supporting the U.S. government. We were happy to do it.
No, you were trying to rescue people. Alex Plitsas, thank you so much. Best of luck to you. I'm sure we'll be talking. And thank you for your service, as always. Really appreciate it.